I don't dive with a submersible pressure gauge. I dive with 2 air integrated computers and nothing else. No hose and no analog backup, and for some reason that really pisses people off. Welcome back to Generations Below. We're a father-son dive team breaking down the gear we love, exploring the world one dive at a time, and hiding treasure along the way. If you find one of our coins, you win real high-end dive gear from brands that we trust. This is easily the most controversial thing that I do underwater. Every time somebody sees my setup, they hit me with the same question. What if they fail? But here's the thing, most divers are putting way more blind faith into their setup than I am. Let's actually talk about it. I run 2 dive computers, the Garmin MK3i and a Shearwater Peregrine. Both are air integrated and each one runs on its own transmitter. I usually wear one on each wrist, but sometimes I'll just stow one of them in my pocket of either my cargos or my BC. I don't carry a pressure gauge, I don't run any extra hoses, and I don't use analog fallbacks. And I'm completely comfortable with that. Why did I ditch my SPG? For me, it's about keeping things simple and clean. There's one less hose to deal with and no SPG flopping around on the side or getting caught on anything. And because I've eliminated that hose completely, I've also eliminated a failure point, not added one. Most people absolutely lose it when they find out I dive this way. It's like they think I'm jumping out of an airplane with no reserve or something. But to be honest, if you're diving with a single SPG and no backup to it, how is that any safer than 2 fully independent computers? The conversation always ends up at the same question. What if both of them fail? First, I've never had a failure. The Garmin will sometimes flash no comms for just a second, but it reconnects almost immediately every time. And even if one of them completely died, I've still got the other one on my other wrist. That's not a gamble, that's built-in redundancy. That's the whole point of it. All right, worst case scenario, both computers fail at the same time. What happens? First off, I don't see how that could happen. Honestly, what could cause that? Leave it in the comments. I have no idea. But if one does drop out, I turn the dive. Simple as that. If both go down, I end the dive. I still finish with a conservative safety stop using my buddy's dive computer, and that's it. This isn't some reckless dare, it's a deliberate system. Why not use an SPG? Because an SPG isn't some infallible safety net. It's just familiar, and that's why people use it. It's a single point of failure, and unlike 2 computers failing at once, I actually have seen SPGs fail. I'd rather trust 2 independent computers tracking my gas than a single mechanical tube that can fail without warning. Would I recommend this, and would I recommend this for new divers? Honestly, aside from the cost, I don't see any reason why any recreational diver couldn't use this setup. The tech is solid, the logic holds up, and if anything, it forces you to pay more attention to your dive. You're not just glancing at your needle every once in a while, you're actually staying aware of what's happening with your dive profile. Look, diving by nature is risky. We all accept that every time we hit the water. But I don't see this setup as being any more dangerous than diving with a single SPG and no backup. I think that every diver needs to take personal responsibility and accountability for their gear decisions and actually sit down and think through what works for them. I didn't end up at this configuration by accident. It was intentional. It's what works for me. I trust my gear and I trust my reasoning behind the decisions that I make in the water. But I'm not stubborn. I'm always learning. I'm always open to hearing new perspectives. I've even changed my own setup over time. I used to run a regulator system with only 2 hoses coming out of it, just an inflator and a second stage because I was using the Atomic SS1 and then my 2 computers. But eventually I moved back to a more traditional setup with a dedicated octo because it made more sense for the way that we dive. That's the point. I'm not locked into anything just for the sake of being different. If the logic holds up, I'll run it. If it doesn't, I'll change it. So if you've got a real reason why this is dangerous, say it. Drop it in the comments. Let's talk about it. Change my mind. If you've got questions, drop those in the comments too. If this helps, smash that subscribe button, and if you're new to the channel, here's something awesome. We hide real treasure underwater. We call it the hunt. Find one of our coins and you win actual high-end dive gear from brands that we trust. All the drops and clues are right here on the channel. The hunt is on.